G'day, welcome to Todd's Kitchen. Whenever I think of beef jerky, I always think of an old western movie. You always see them chewing on that stuff. It's lovely. It's also very simple to make at home too. So join me today as I show you how to make my version of beef jerky. Now we want to start this off by making our marinades. So into a mixing bowl, I'm going to place in half a cup of soya sauce. Now I'm using sweet soya sauce for this one, but you can use regular, it's completely up to you. And to that, a quarter cup of Worcestershire sauce, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, try not to get that confused with garlic salt, then a teaspoon of onion powder, and about a teaspoon of black pepper. And then simply give it a good whisk to combine. Okay, next we're going to use some beef. Now honestly, use any steak you like, it's really up to you. It just comes down to personal preference. And you want to cut it like this into nice long strips. But what I want you to do is just make sure you cut it against the grain. Don't go with the grain. So just cut into reasonable size thickness, not too thick, not too thin. And what I'm going to do is now I'm going to place it into a ziplock bag. Then I'm just going to pour our marinade into our ziplock bag with our meat. And just within the bag, we're just going to massage the bag just like so, just to make sure all the meat is covered by our marinade. Okay, so once done, we're going to place this into the fridge overnight or for 8 hours before we get started on the next step. Now I've taken our meat out of the fridge and I've drained the liquid. Now I have a small amount here. So all we have to do now is just, with some paper towel, we're just going to pat each piece until they're nice and dry. Just try and get as much of the liquid off as you possibly can. Now once you've dried up all your strips, I'm going to use a wire rack here. Now make sure you got one that's going to fit onto your smoker, of course. And we're just going to lay our dried strips onto our rack. Okay, so next we're going to set up the smoker. Now there's two different ways to smoke it. There's a cold smoke and there's a warm smoke. This is going to be on a warm smoke. So we're just going to place our meat trays onto our smoker. And we're going to smoke these for a good 4 to 5 hours. Now you want it to get to that rubbery, chewy stage, but you don't want to get it too dry. Now depending on the thickness of the meat, it may take a little bit longer or it may take a little bit less. It really comes down to how thick or thin your meat is. Now I've taken it off the smoker and there we have our smoked beef jerky. So we're having it on that very low temp, which most smokers are. It's dehydrated the meat, but it's also given it a lovely smoke flavour. Now you can also do this on a food dehydrator, but it's nowhere near as good as doing it on a smoker. And this beef jerky is perfect to keep in a sealed container in the fridge for up to a week. And it's still going to taste exactly the same. But once you have those lovely seasoned flavours, mixed in with that gorgeous smoke flavour, this beef jerky is going to taste simply delish. And as you can see, it's incredibly simple to make your own, far cheaper, and you can make the flavour to your liking. And you can use any cut of steak that you like. So thank you for watching this episode of Todd's Kitchen. As always, I'll leave a list of ingredients down below, as well as links to my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Home Handy Hints channel. And please do me a massive favour by giving this video a thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time for another delicious recipe.